Hey, what's up guys and gals? Danny Lightning back with another video. So Warbots is proposing another rebalance. They say they're probably planning on doing 3 total rebalances in 2026, but the next update is going to have another rebalance on it. Right now, these are being tested on a test server, so some of these could get canceled, some of these could be more drastic, or some of them could be less drastic than what's proposed here, but these are the proposed upcoming rebalances. Now, the Rex robot is getting a durability increase, but it's going to be getting some nerfs on the built-in weapons, so it's kind of getting a buff and a nerf. They're trying to turn it more into a brawler than like a mid-range fighter, so I don't know, that's going to be interesting. The Kaji is getting a durability boost, but the mines are going to do a pretty noticeable amount of less damage. That's kind of a good thing, I think. More durability, less damage. I actually like that. Strix prime sight duration is going to be from 9 seconds down to 7, so the ability is going to last 2 seconds less. So that's a nerf right there. The Teth is getting a durability bonus. But they're also going to be nerfing quite a few things there. So those 3 things. The Dance of the Sands bonus is going to go from 10% to 5%. It's also going to have a speed bonus from 20% down to 15%. And then the duration is going to go from 7 seconds to 5 seconds. So durability buff, but its abilities are getting nerfed. The sword is getting a bonus. The damage to melee attacks accumulated by the absorber shield is going to go up a little bit. So they are bonusing the damage on the sword unit and buffing it. Harpy and Siren is getting a shorter cooldown, so that is a buff. The Typhon is getting a better Aegis shield, so that's a very small buff. The Angler is getting a buff. The shield is going to go from 234,000 up to 260,000, so that's nice. The Blitz is getting a little bit of the cooldown is going to go from 15 to 13, so a shorter cooldown, so that's a little bit of a buff. The Titans, the Minos is getting a charge cooldown from 15 to 13 seconds, so that is good. The Heimdall is actually getting some pretty nice buffs here, actually. The repair per particle is going to go from 28 to 31, or 2,800 to 3,100, I should say. The support mode, that's getting a buff as well, so it's going to do more damage, which is pretty sweet on the ability. The Sirius, the restore repair is it's going up, right? They're doing a buff on the amount of repair. The repair is also getting a, wait a second, what's that? Hold on a second. Okay, the attached turret is getting a buff, and when the turret is on the ground, it's actually getting a buff as well, and they're actually going to make the cooldown go from 20 to 18, so that is a overall buff on the Syria. Next, the Gladius and the Pilum weapons, these are getting a little bit of a increase, surprisingly. These are getting buffed, right? The amount of damage is actually getting a buff, and the blast accumulation is going down. So it's not going to have as much black blast charge, but it will do more overall damage. So that's kind of an interesting deal. I don't know if that's going to be an overall nerf or a buff. The Elox and the Myrix is getting a damage decrease. They are doing damage over time. All right, that's getting buffed. So the damage over time is going up, but the overall damage is going down. The POW, Boom, and Bash weapons are going to be getting a lock-on. So this is interesting. I'm not really sure what that means, but I guess you're going to have to lock onto the target before you can fire these. So that's interesting. It doesn't look like any type of damage decrease or anything, but they're going to be adding a lock-on to the Boom, POW, and Bash weapons. The Piercer is getting a big old damage buff, but the fatigue max stack is at 12 and it's going down to 5. So it's going to be getting a decrease overall. I think that's going to be a nerf to that weapon. If I'm understanding that correctly, that will be an overall nerf, I think. Sometimes these are a little bit hard to understand when you got things being buffed and nerfed, but I'm pretty sure that will be an overall nerf. The Flux is getting less damage per particle. The ammo is going up, however, and the reload is going from 29 to 44 ammo. Again, I'm not really sure if that's a good thing or a bad thing for the Flux. I mean, that 1300 to 830, that sounds like it's probably a huge downgrade, I would imagine. The Claw, the Jaw, and the Talon, those are getting some big changes right there. You know, that's actually a pretty big buff on the Claw, Jaw, Talon weapons. Those may actually be pretty good again. I'm definitely going to be interested in testing those out because that looks like a pretty big buff. I think those are going to be cool weapons again if they go through with that buff. The Tamer and the Damper is next. That's going to be getting some buffs as well. So the damage per particle on the light and the medium is going up, and the horizontal and vertical dispersion, so it's going to have less of a spread, I do believe. So I think that's an overall buff if I understand that one correctly. Next, the needle spikes and stakes, they're getting a nice damage increase. So all three of them are getting a buff. They're going to do more damage per hit, which is great. We got some Titan weapons, the Arbiter and the Equalizer. It's getting a big damage decrease, and it's getting a horizontal and vertical dispersion. I don't know what that means. I think they're adding a spread to it or something. Again, I'm not 100% sure on that last one, but anyways. Dazzler and Lantern getting a pretty nice damage boost. I mean, it's not huge, but they're buffing the Dazzler and Lantern weapons. That is great. The Glaive and the Lance weapons are getting a really nice little damage increase. So those are going to be awesome, I think. I already like those weapons, so that's going to be a good thing. The Evora is getting a damage decrease, so that pretty much sucks. It's going to 1570 down to 1290. That may or may not kill off those weapons. I'm not sure, but the Evora, it doesn't say about the, it only says one, so I don't know about the Veron, but the Evora is getting a damage decrease, unfortunately. So it looks like the Bull Drone is getting nerfed. They are nerfing the Bull Drone. The Aopo Drone is getting a big nerf. The Solar, hold on a second. Crap sandwiches. All right, the Solar Drone, that is getting a bunch of changes right there. That actually looks like a huge nerf to the Solar Drone. Yeah, I don't know. I'm not so sure. It is going to get one buff, but the other three look like an overall giant nerf, so I don't see that going well. And then finally, the Keel Mothership is a damage per particle going from 70,000 to 60,000, so they are nerfing the damage on the Keel Mothership. So those are all the proposed nerfs and buffs. I mean, there's a lot of buffs on here, and there's quite a few nerfs, so I don't know. I mean, you got your good and your bad on these rebalances. At least there's a lot of buffs on this one, which is really nice. I'm not going to complain about that too much. Now, if you do get on the test server and play it, they're going to be testing the new robot, new weapons, new this, new that, and all of the balance changes on this weekend's test server. So if you get a chance, I would highly suggest jumping on there, playing it, trying it out, filling out the feedback form, and letting them know exactly what you think about the balance changes and the new stuff. So anyways, the test server is there. You can get that on Android or iOS. You should be able to just go to your App Store or Google Play Store or whatever and type in War Robots Test and find the test server and download those onto your phone. But anyways, expect some big changes to be coming to the game very soon. Nerfs, buffs, all kinds of stuff. I'm just the messenger. Don't get mad at me. I'm just letting you know what they're doing because, hey, that's what they're planning on doing.